Head in the game, head in the game. My name is Turbo. I just wanted to go a little faster.
Animated films are a cornerstone of the Hollywood catalog. Blockbuster profits born out of hard drives, hard work, and raw imagination. Often a mix of Hollywood flash and Silicon Valley genius. But as CBC's Lindsay Duncombe explains, the man behind the next big-budget animated feature, Turbo, comes from closer to home.
Yeah, let's look at that shot.
This is how David Soren spends most mornings.
Check it out.
That's great.
Deep inside DreamWorks Animation Studios in dark screening rooms.
And by the way, my name is Turbo.
Making a story that's lived in his imagination for more than a decade appear on screen, frame by frame by frame.
We go through literally every shot in the whole movie, one scene at a time, and sometimes multiple scenes at a time.
I wish I was fast.
Turbo is DreamWorks' big summer release, the story of a snail with superpowers and a seemingly impossible dream, created by an animator from Ontario who's built a career exceeding expectations.
It's a mashup of superhero and racing genres, but really at its heart, it's an underdog story. What do we got? What do we got to look at?
Soren is an animator by training and the only DreamWorks artist to ever direct his own film. Turbo is inspired by his young son's obsession with speed and an infestation of garden snails in his yard. Soren is in charge of more than 200 people.
We're just looking at some of these keys from sequence 300.
Yeah, the tire tread on the ground, it really helps just sell the screeching to a stop.
He manages a multi-million-dollar budget and a cast of stars, including Canadian Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Turbo.
Just trying to keep things going smooth. It's sort of like being a captain of a crazy cruise ship and trying to make sure we don't hit icebergs.
Are you a perfectionist?
Yeah, you could probably say that.
Soren grew up wanting to tell stories, and he could draw. In grade 2, a poster he drew encouraging kids to read won a contest. His school library in Hamilton won 100 books.
So from that point on, I was kind of on this path, in my mind at least, to get into animation and come to California and work somewhere in the industry here. So this is my student film.
He graduated top of his class at Sheridan College. This film caught the attention of DreamWorks head Jeffrey Katzenberg. Like so many Canadian animators, he moved south. The transition from Toronto to LA inspired the snail story. Turbo gets plucked from the garden and ends up in a strip mall with strangers. The film's production designer, also a Canadian, gets it.
What I see the Canadian sensibility being is that David is telling a story about Los Angeles in a way as an outsider, and Turbo sees himself as an outsider as well. I think that might even be one of the reasons David brought me on as well, is to get sort of a fresh take on the Los Angeles environments.
I think there's definitely sort of a sense of persistence and perseverance that I had to go through to get this thing done, and certainly thematically, there was a lot of things I could relate to in Turbo, and probably helped me write him as a character and bring him to life.
There are plans for a Netflix series based on Turbo and a video game. The stakes are high. DreamWorks Animation has lost money and laid off staff after previous films didn't bring in as much cash as expected. Ultimately, success will be measured at the box office, but Soren thinks of it in a different way.
The biggest sense of accomplishment for me would be if I could, through my own kind of quiet way of making this thing, encourage my children to sort of reach beyond their means a little bit, to try to achieve things that are maybe a little beyond their reach.
A story he believes in, both on the screen and off. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Los Angeles.